Yeah, so the reason that I actually utilize it is it's similar in terms of like taking a cold bath or the ice baths. And I used to use them quite a bit when I was younger playing sports, but it's more about recovery. So, we want to use our time most efficiently. And the way in which we do that is we go and exercise, and then we want to hit that and break down the muscle as much as we can, or a little bit, and then we want to recover as quick as we can to be able to get back in the gym. So it really is about maximising our time or maximising our potential. So this, I find, shortens my recovery time, and that's specifically why I do it. This along with compression, it's similar to the concept of the RICE method, where it's rest, ice, compression, elevation. This is actually the ice section, and using the Normatex is the compression section. So it actually helps me get back into the gym as quick as possible. Now at the moment I'm training for an Ironman, so the amount of hours that you're having to put in, you need to expedite your recovery as much as possible. And that's what I find that this particular device does. It's just expediting my recovery. So I'm wanting to get back, or I have to get back on the bike or in the pool or on the treadmill as quick as possible. So the other thing is, it's I enjoy the challenge of it. It's cold, really cold. So it's sort of one of those things that people sort of want to investigate because they want to see if they can actually go through the experience, and it never, you're never in it long enough to actually have any complications. I have had hypothermia before when I was swimming in the San Francisco Bay. So it doesn't sort of stimulate any of those kind of responses, but you can definitely feel the impact on your system. It sort of goes into this method where it's stimulating recovery because of the cold that's surrounding your system, the cold that's surrounding your body. But it's kind of like a challenge. It's kind of fun to see whether you can stay in there and just manage your mind while you're going through the experience.